but as you know, we have quite a bit of some engagements that could not allow us to have this statement read earlier than now. We of course apologize for the lateness. Now, this is a press release issued in Nairobi on Monday, June 20th, 2022. And I'm sure you can see the leadership of Mudavadi Nation, led by Musalia Mudavadi, party leader of ANC, and a senior member, or rather a partner of Kenya Kwanza. On my right, you'll see Senator Moses Wetangula, party leader Ford Kenya, and a senior partner in Kenya Kwanza. Members from Mudavadi Nation who have together put together this statement that I'm about to read. The statement by Mudavadi Nation on the diabolic conspiracies of Raila Odinga against the community. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we called you here today for you to pass the following message to Azimio presidential candidate Raila. In the message we ask, what is it that 6 million Mudavadi Nation community hasn't done for Honorable Raila Odinga in particular, and the Odinga family in general, that he has made it an obsession to hate, demean, discriminate, isolate, and frustrate leaders from the community? What form of absolution should the community offer you, Raila, in order to restrain you from roaring retribution that you continue to visit on the community leaders? This is a community and its leadership that has stood with you and your family to the last person throughout your troubled political career. Even when others have declared you a political pariah, an abomination, and a leper, the Mudavadi Nation didn't desert you. They instead embraced you as one of their own, to the extent you mockingly claim to be more of a Mudavadi breed than the native Mudavadi woman or man. You have never been short of insults. The more the community has struggled to shield you, the more you have abused their hospitality. If they aren't chicken you ensnare with morsels of maize grains, but because they have chosen a different political path away from you, then they are abundantly primitive enough to breed like locusts. Mr. Raila, if this isn't enough, isn't ingrained sadism, then it isn't far from being the practice of modern day narcissism. And Kenyans should take note and beware. Because to you, the Mudavadi Nation is cheap. You have traded with their electoral numbers to negotiate entry into government after every cycle. Once ensconced in power, you have given little regard to the community, never shared the spoils for you other than a scorn. This is what you did to achieve the infamous handshake. The dividends of the handshake have never been shared with your NASA partners. You are not embarrassed that your own county of Siaya had 3 cabinet secretaries, courtesy of the handshake, at the expense of 4 Mudavadi counties which have no cabinet secretary. This is in addition to other uncountable blame appointments in all levels of government. Instead, you schemed to kill NASA to stop a son of Mudavadi rising to presidency. To you, as long as Mudavadi leaders aren't supporting you, they are criminals ab initio, but are weupe kama pamba if they are your lapdogs. We have not forgotten how you demeaned our late hero, His Excellency Michael Kijana Wamalwa, by unleashing extreme violence at the Fort Kenya Party meeting in Thika in 1995 with a view of snatching the party from him. You exported your signature of violence to a Kenya Kwanza meeting held at Jacaranda Grounds, Nairobi on Sunday, yesterday, with a view of zoning some regions in the country. Because the Mudavadi nation has charted a different political path in this year's general elections, your insults have become personal. When Honorable Musalia Mudavadi makes a passionate case against runaway economic hardships suffered by majority Kenyans, then he is a howling dog to you. He isn't the only one who continues to be ridiculed by you. Others have fared extremely badly in your deceit. Honorable Moses Wetangula received a nasty thank you when you dethroned him as minority leader in Senate. This is despite the NASA agreement apportioning the position to the Fort Kenya partner. Then followed a season of agency and a trophy against Mudavadi leaders. You removed Chris Wamalwa as a National Assembly Deputy Minority Leader. Attrition befell Cleophas Malala as Senate Deputy Minority Leader. And I, Benjamin Washali, thrown out as the National Assembly Majority Chief Whip at your instigation. Maybe to an extent I will just want to explain that there is someone who replaced me, and that person or that honorable is now a member of ODM, and that tells you easily who was interested in my position. This was at the instigation, your instigation, behest, and it's not only lost to us that recently you staged a spectacle where you denied Honorable Tim Wanyonyi a ticket to contest for governor of Nairobi. Neither have we forgotten how you unleashed the notorious Men in Black against Honorable Abab Namwamba and subsequently hounded him out of office as the Secretary General of ODM. Your schemes then took you in a futile attempt to prevent Sakaja too from vying for the same seat. At this stage, we pose a rhetorical question. Are leaders from Mudavadi community, lesser Kenyans, to be toyed in any way you want? You may plot even more, but this is to assure you, Raila, that the Mudavadi nation is decided on its political pathway, and no amount of deception and theatrics will change their choice. Soon, we assure you, you will be a living memory of the adage that you can cheat some people sometime, but never will you cheat the Mudavadi nation all the time. Mjinga akierevuka, mwerevu yu mashakani. You are warned, Raila Odinga. I think that is good enough. Thank you.
must run away from this culture of us always being used to support an individual to ascend to power, and once he's in power, he discards us as West. The people of Mlembe, let us make Nairobi and Kenya a peaceful country. A peaceful country, a country that resonates with the name that we're given, the people of Mlembe. Thank you.
I conclude.
Much has been said, but I'll just ice the cake by affirming 49 days to the elections, the die is cast. As a community, we have already made our resolve that we are going to walk the path of Kenya Kwanza, and nothing will change our resolve. No amount of intimidation will change the resolve of the Luhya people. We made that decision not from an egocentric point of view, but from a point of view of emancipating our community from political neocolonialism and economic freedom. People have taken advantage of our community for a very long time. We work well with other communities, but when they get to their desired destinations, they forget our hospitality. So we've said that this time round, we have made a resolve as a community that we are going to work with the presidential candidate for Kenya Kwanza, and that is William Samoei Ruto. I also want to join my colleagues in condemning yesterday's violence in Jacaranda and remind those perpetrators that in 2007, the post-election violence started the way they behaved yesterday. We want to remind those perpetrators that this country was at its lowest after the post-election violence. We want to remind those perpetrators that when the trumpets of war are blown and when the drums of war are rolled, it's the women and children who suffer most. And therefore, they shouldn't be hypocritical saying that they value women so much to an extent that they have chosen a running mate who is a woman, yet they commit crimes that demean the dignity and the peaceful coexistence of a woman in this country. We want to tell them that we have now identified them as hypocrites. They have no values, they have no good intentions to the women of this country, because if you're perpetuating war in this country, you are against the women and the children of this country. We also want to remind the head of state, as you are going to retire in 1 month time, you must remain the symbol of unity in this country. Remember, when a rock hit the helicopter in Eldoret, you told Kenyans that kama hiyo mawe ingegonga huyo mzee, mambo ingeharibika. We are waiting for you, President Uhuru Kenyatta, to again tell Kenyans that kama ile mawe ya Jacaranda ingegonga Ruto, mambo ingeharibika hapa. Ama ingegonga Musalia, ama ingegonga Weta. You must always remind yourself, Mr. President, that you are not there as Uhuru Kenyatta. You are there as a symbol of unity in this country. And therefore, you have not gone home yet. Kindly rise to the occasion and remain to be a symbol of unity to this country.